It's Monday, November 4th. My name is Rich, and this is your 5-Minute Fix. Welcome to the 5-Minute Fix, where we take stories about pretty much anything from pretty much anywhere and try to give it to you in 5 minutes or less today. We got some more drama from the TikTok world, I guess in the general social media world, as a world-famous squirrel with 500,000 followers was euthanized by New York Department of Environmental Conservation. Peanut the squirrel euthanized following raid. The social media sensation was seized during a raid and was thought to have rabies. The viral social media squirrel Peanut has been euthanized. The Guardian reports that the orphan squirrel was seized during a raid on its caretaker's home. According to the New York authorities, officers of the State Department of Environmental Conservation took the squirrel and a raccoon named Fred from the owner Mark Longo's home on Wednesday, October 30th. Yesterday, the DEC and Department of Health in Chemung County revealed what happened to the animals. Quote, on October 30th, DEC seized a raccoon and squirrel sharing a residence with humans, creating the potential for human exposure to rabies, wrote both groups in a joint statement. To test for rabies, both animals were euthanized. The animals are being tested for rabies, and anyone who has been in contact with these animals is strongly encouraged to consult their physician. Peanut became a social media star over the last 7 years on TikTok and Instagram. Owner Mark Longo, who runs an animal sanctuary, brought him home following seeing the squirrel's mother get killed by being hit by a car. Videos of Peanut eating, exercising, and wearing clothes turned him into a sensation. Longo announced the death of the squirrel and raccoon in an emotional post on Instagram. It is with profound sorrow that we share the heartbreaking news. On October 30th, the DEC made the devastating decision to euthanize our beloved Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. Despite our passionate outcry for compassion, the agency told us to ignore our pleas, leaving us in deep shock and grief, reads the Instagram post. Now, I've heard a few different reasons as to why they even raided the residence itself. Another thing was the amount of resources that were used to go and get this squirrel and raccoon. Seemed a little bit overdone, egregious, just abuse of power, essentially. So here we have a video of the couple. This is Mark Longo here on the left, and this is, I'm assuming, his wife. They run the sanctuary for animals. They had the raccoon, Frank the raccoon, and Peanut the squirrel, and their residence was raided. Let's take a look at what they had to go through during this raid.
Learned that they have euthanized Peanut.
And the raccoon as well.
And the raccoon as well.
Euthanized Frank.
I am so sorry. This must be really difficult for you.
It not only tears my family apart, but Peanut was the cornerstone of our nonprofit animal rescue. And 10 to 12 DEC officers raided my house as if I was a drug dealer.
10 to 12?
I was sat outside my house for 5 hours.
5 hours?
I had to get a police escort to my bathroom. I wasn't even allowed to feed my rescue horses breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal. After they interrogated my wife to check out her immigration status, then proceeded to ask me if I had cameras in my house. Then proceeded to go through every cabinet, nook, and cranny of my house for a squirrel and a raccoon.
They got a search warrant?
They got a search warrant. 4 departments and a judge signed off on a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon. And then they took them and killed them.
Why did they go through all that to get a search warrant for an animal that had been with you very safely
for 7 years?
The world witnessed this for 7 years.
That's crazy.
Why now suddenly did they show up with a search warrant and take these animals?
We haven't a clue. We don't know who made the complaints.
So one of the things that I heard, and I don't know if this is legit, this is just something that I've heard while, looking at this story. Apparently, there was a woman, a Karen, we could say, who, first of all, sorry to all you people named Karen, it is what it is, who was upset that this squirrel and this raccoon had more Instagram followers than she did. And so she started firing off complaints. And it's alleged that she no longer has social media. Once it was found out that she was the one who called in these complaints and the squirrel and raccoon were euthanized, she got rid of her social media, which, I mean, for her, probably the best idea, because she would have been verbally abused online. All the keyboard warriors, everybody would have came after her. So that's one of the ongoing rumors, situation, whatever you want to call it, going on right now in terms of why these complaints or who made these complaints. Alleged.
Again, Peanut was an indoor squirrel, not harming anybody. He's been
indoor
with us for
squirrel.
7 years. Not a single complaint was ever filed for this animal.
Never heard
we
of
had him
indoor
for
squirrels.
7.5 years. He became the world's most famous squirrel. We weren't hiding him by any means.
That's fair.
He was all over TikTok. He became the first squirrel on TikTok to ever hit 1 million followers.
Oh, that's crazy.
He did every news station around the world. He's helped people.
Is this the same squirrel that rides that jet ski in that video? Probably not, but just a question that came to my head.
He's helped kids gather joy. And then we started a nonprofit animal rescue called Peanuts Freedom Farm to help animals like
Peanuts
fight a good
Freedom
fight
Farm.
when they're in a neglected case or they're sitting in a slaughter auction. And he was the cornerstone of our life
Damn.
and our organization. We used his platform to help raise money for the 300 animals we have at our sanctuary.
How did you find out that they euthanized Peanut?
They haven't messaged me. They haven't called me. They haven't given me a formal statement whatsoever. The last time I heard from the DEC was when they left my house. Another news station called me with their statement, and that's how I found out Peanut is gone.
Oof.
They didn't even have the heart to
Ooh.
call me themselves to tell me what
Damn.
was going on. This state has more problems than a squirrel and a raccoon, and we're using our taxpayers' dollars to help take these animals out of a comfortable place, all because of some paperwork.
That's
the
right.
Statement released that Peanut bit one of the people. Peanut's bitten me 5 times in 7 years. Peanut also is an animal that only knows me.
That's
so
fair.
why wouldn't you have protective gloves on and protective equipment to allow an animal like him to bite you?
They went in raw dog to pick up this squirrel? That's their first mistake. Can't be doing that.
So, to be honest with you, I don't buy it whatsoever. The fact
I didn't know about squirrels ever in my life, and when I came to Peanut a couple of years ago, like, he would have never bitten me. Like, he never bit me.
The complaints we're told are anonymous. So anonymous claims got the state to get a search warrant.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Which was signed by multiple different departments and a judge.
That's actually crazy.
So I want to know what the evidence was that this was such a devastating thing to the community that we had to waste taxpayers' dollars and ruin a family in a nonprofit animal rescue because we have power.
Will you be taking some legal action?
Oh, the firefight has just begun. This needs to be used as an example of how this state uses their resources and their power. Not only that, the only source of income and donations have come from Peanut's social media. I don't know how I'm going to run the nonprofit animal rescue with over 300 animals at my sanctuary right now without the funding from Peanut. Yeah. My wife and I work 3 jobs to pay the other 50% of the $20,000 we have to accumulate in funding a month for these animals.
$20K a month!
Took my best friend for the last 7 years.
And I will never bring him back.
And the sanctuary is called Peanut's Freedom Farm. And you just took Peanut out of the Freedom Farm of our organization.
That's
and
crazy.
Everybody looked at it like it was just nothing. This is the DEC who is supposed to be helping animals out of bad cases. And you came to a case that had animals in good possession, and you took them and killed them. Not only that, you just put the entire organization in jeopardy, because I don't know how we're going to fund this organization anymore without this social media. I haven't a clue.
So a few things with this. First, I have to agree with this man. In what world does it seem okay to use taxpayer funds to go after a squirrel in an animal sanctuary? What about all the other animals? Just because it's a squirrel, does it not deserve to have the luxurious life of living in an animal sanctuary? And the raccoon, does society view squirrels and raccoons as such terrible rodents that they don't deserve any semblance of a good, relaxed life? Is that what it comes down to? I don't know. I think I'm with Mark Longo on this one. And you know what? I hope that some people at the DEC are held responsible for this gross misuse of taxpayer funds. And you know what? To that lady who called this in unnecessarily, unjustly, yeah, I hope she's okay. I hope she can reflect on this, and I hope she can go to sleep at night, you know? No one deserves to go through this, regardless if it's a squirrel, a dog, whatever. This just seems, like I said, like a gross misuse of taxpayer funds. But I want to know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. My name is Rich. This has been your 5-Minute Fix.